everybody! Thank you so much for joining me today. This video I feel is kind of a representation of the types of things I really want to bring you in the coming year. I've been reorganizing and cleaning out my makeup area, and I feel like it's caused me to rediscover a lot of products, and I want to do a lot on the things that I already have, and obviously still bring you some new product reviews like I like to do, but I want to really put an emphasis on using what I have, and in the process of clearing things out, I definitely uncovered some things that I'd forgotten about that I'm like, oh yeah, I really loved that at one time. Like, I thought it was the best thing. Or the sad part is when you have stuff on hand that you've barely even touched, if at all, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I had that. And that kind of thing can happen when you're getting the PR stuff in and you might quickly like file it away somewhere without even really using it. It's sad and it makes me really uncomfortable actually to think I have things on hand that I'm not fully in tune with. So getting in tune with my collection, that's something I really want to do in the coming year. I also love focusing on underrated stuff, the underdog products, hidden gems, whatever you want to call them. I almost feel like that's my purpose here on YouTube, is getting under the surface of the hype and the buzzed about stuff and really uncovering the amazingness that might not get enough attention. Like, I love that feeling. So this video kind of combines both. I felt like some of these products that I found in my stash that were underused or rediscovered happened to be, in my opinion, some real like star products from these different lines, but they're not really the things you hear a lot about. And I know every brand's gonna have its stud item, you know, that everybody's talking about and buzzing about, and maybe for good reason in a lot of cases. But there will always be things going under the radar. Maybe they're just not promoted as much. Somewhere along the lines for that brand, they fell through the cracks, I feel like, and I wanna bring them to the forefront today. So one thing that I found in my moisturizer stash, I got rid of a lot of skincare that just was too old or not getting used. And one thing that really is not that old that I used a good amount of, but it just kind of got shifted to the back, is this L'Oreal Age Perfect Cell Renewal Rosy Tone cream. And I don't hear a lot about this stuff, but I was realizing as I started using it again that the consistency, the thickness, the richness of it is so much like the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched face base that I love. I'm really into putting a rich cream on pre-makeup because I feel like it makes a world of difference in the way the makeup looks on my skin. And as far as the appearance of fine lines and texture, I feel like that good moisturizing cream really makes a difference. So this, I've used probably half of it, and now I'm back for more. It's nice and thick and creamy, and obviously if you've got really oily skin, this may not be for you, but I feel like my skin can totally handle it. And something about the rosy tone, this pinky peach tone in this product, like as soon as it hits the skin, you see more radiance and life. And I think downstairs, actually in my skincare sort of cabinet, I have a mask from this line too, but I really like this stuff. As you see the little demos throughout the video, obviously steps have been skipped because I don't have something for every single step of makeup in this video. I've got like 6 things. But my next thing that I want to mention is from IT Cosmetics, and IT Cosmetics I think is definitely a buzzed about brand for a lot of different complexion products. They've got their CC creams that a lot of people like, certain powders, more and more skincare things all the time it seems, but this little guy, this stick that I found in my collection was one of those like hardly used products. And I'm looking at it now thinking, oh my gosh, why? Why was that the situation? Because this is so good. It's called the Vitality Lip and Cheek Flush in Je ne sais quoi. And I know I'd previously been obsessed with a lip color that was in this sort of transparent pink shifting shade. I really liked it, but this lip and cheek stick is so amazing. It looks clear, it hits your skin, and something about the tone of the flush that this gives is so nice. And it is gonna feel kind of moisturizing. Actually very hydrating. This might be a really good dry skin option because when it hits your skin, it doesn't go cream to powder. It actually carries quite a bit of moisture with it, but it doesn't take a lot of product, and I just dabbed it on my cheeks and I felt like it was that subtle like baby blush kind of flush. And when I put it on my lips too, now I'd wiped off some of the foundation so you could really see the natural tone of my lips and then see this going on over it. It's so beautiful, and it's that gentle staining. It doesn't turn your lips like hot pink. Maybe if you built it up like a ton, you would see a brighter pink, but just with normal application, this feels so softening, like incredibly softening on the lips, and I love the tone that the lips take on. So it's versatile, it's multitasking, this jumbo stick. I don't really hear anybody talking about this, but I think it's a brilliant product because it really does give you that kind of lit from within look on both the lips and the cheeks. And now obviously I've gone on and put something else on on my lips that I also needed to talk about in this video, so we'll get to that in a moment. Yes, I'm such a cool mom with my Disney princess mug. Next thing is something that I loved from the beginning. I remember talking about these and how great they are, but they just kind of slipped off the radar for me, but they're back again, baby. I'm talking about these e.l.f. blushes. They are called primer infused blushes, I believe, and they are tremendous. They're so pigmented, but they're not scary, but the staying power on these is awesome. It like really locks in. If you swatch them on your hand and then you like rub across them, you can tell that that powder somehow is really adhering to the skin and doing a great job of staying all day. So I picked out a couple of my favorite shades. One is just, I think, a really good standard shade for anybody. It's called Always Rosy, and that's what I'm wearing today. So I just very lightly applied this on top of that cream stick that I already had on. And both of these blushes are a matte, but they don't look like dry and chalky on the skin. They really assume your natural skin texture, which is nice. But like I said, the staying power is so good, and they're so soft to the touch. e.l.f. really nailed it with this stuff. This may be one of e.l.f.'s best things in their line, actually. And then the other shade that I like is called Always Spicy, and I think a deeper skin tone would love this. I think anybody who likes a little bit more neutral blush, it might look a little intense, you know, as you look at it there in the pan, but as it shears out on the skin, you actually get a really nice warmth. If you haven't tried these from e.l.f., I think you would absolutely love them and be so impressed by the quality. I mean, they are on par for me with some of those in-stain blushes from the Balm that I've always talked about, how they're a powder blush, but somehow they last a long time, and these are doing it too, and they're from e.l.f. This next thing comes under the heading of I had it lurking around my collection and never really used it until recently, and I'm like, whoa, I look like an angel. Not really, but it's an ethereal, angelic kind of glow on the skin, I must say. It is no like actual evidence of makeup-y looking highlight. It just really is like this transparent sort of tinted veil on the skin that makes it look so good. It's from Urban Decay. I haven't heard anybody ever talk about this stuff. If a lot of people have and I've missed it, I'm sorry, but I feel like this is underrated, under the radar. It's Liquid Aura Illuminating Mix-In Medium. So the kind of thing you could do whatever you want with. You can mix it in with a foundation, a moisturizer. It's kind of thick as far as stuff that is usually packaged in this format. It's not like a straight up liquid, but I just dab a little bit of this on my hand, and then I've been using this EcoTools double-ended brush that came in a holiday kit, which is awesome, and pick up a little bit with the small part, dab it on the skin, blend it out with the larger part, and there's a beautiful like pearlescent, slightly pinky quality in this that's so brightening and just gorgeous and really stunning in natural light. I can't stress that enough because I was wearing it last night too, and it was just getting to be evening time and I could see my skin in the light, and I was like, wow, that's next level, because it doesn't really look like a streak of highlight on the skin. It just looks like this radiance is part of your actual skin texture, and I do like to take it kind of up in this whole zone because that's where I want the light catching it. And this lighting, sitting right here with this full-on light all around me, I don't feel like it really does it justice or picks it up as well as it could, but I promise you, just like living life in this stuff, it's beautiful. And I have really kind of been disappointed by a lot of the powder highlights from Urban Decay, but I think this is so nice, and I just really love the color tone. Next thing is from Covergirl, and I feel like any big drugstore brand, like I mentioned something from L'Oreal earlier, these massive brands are always going to have products generating buzz. You know, they're always putting out something new. They're just very widely accessible. Covergirl, particularly lately, with its decision to be like the biggest beauty brand going cruelty-free, like it's generated a lot of buzz and a lot of new products have come to the line. But I wanted to talk about something right now that I am loving so much, and I know I've mentioned it before recently that this is like the OG liquid lipstick, Covergirl Outlast, but I mentioned how I was trying to hone in on my perfect shade of this stuff because that's kind of what was standing between me using the product a lot. Was I felt like it was kind of hard to pick a shade to really know what you were getting, and so many things either ended up being too bright or too dark, and I feel like I found the perfect everyday color. So I wanted to update you in this video and let you know what that is. But overall, yes, I feel like this is a very underrated product. Everybody's going for the brand that's putting out the latest liquid lip color, but if you really want something that's gonna last all day, like lasts beautifully through meals. I mean, what did I have last night? Some pizza, some corn nuggets, a couple beers. This stuff was still going strong, and it's a two-step thing. So you got your liquid lip that you're gonna put on first, and then you're gonna let that dry down. It might take a couple minutes, and then you've got a very comfortable little balm that you get to put on top. I would say keep the balm on you if you're planning to wear this color all day, like keep reapplying the balm because that actually helps it last. I think it works with the product. It keeps your lips hydrated and that way nothing's fading away. With a lot of liquid lipsticks, you would not really be able to pull off that step because so often putting a balm or a gloss on top reliquefies the lipstick. So there's something about this formula that works with the balm and the color is not slipping away whatsoever, but it feels so comfortable. They must have even improved this formula, I want to say, since the earliest days because it feels weightless. It feels like nothing. And this color called Natural Blush, I wish they would just print the actual name of the color on here, but there's a number. It's 621 Natural Blush, and I feel like this is such a perfect everyday color. Not too light, not too dark. It's just kind of like dusty rose, but it's hard to know what you're getting because look, here's the color they portray on the box, and I feel like it looks like a rich wine color, practically like the color of my shirt here, right? But on the lips, I feel like, no, it's not too crazy dark. It's just your nice classic dusty rose. So I feel really good that I've laid my hands on a color that I love from this formula because it really is the ultimate in comfortable long wear. Last thing I want to talk about in this video, everybody's got a beauty blender. I think a lot of people have a favorable opinion of the classic beauty blender and whether or not that is your favorite blending sponge. Many people have tried it and it is probably the premier product from the beauty blender range. But what about the Blotterazzi? This is a rediscovered thing that I think I got it because of Tiffany D because she had this brilliant touch-up method involving this thing. And for a while I used it and loved it and then it got kind of pushed aside and forgotten. And last night when I was kind of getting ready for date night, I'd already had my makeup on throughout the day, but I was just wanting to refresh things without fully starting over. And what you have in here, you actually get two of these. I've got my other one sitting off somewhere else so it's not constantly like coming in contact with my dirty one, but it's these thin little beauty blender material sponges and you can just use that with the mirror here to blot over your makeup and refresh. But Tiffany's tip, gotta give full credit where credit is due because she's been the only person I've really seen talk about this. You take whatever setting spray you like using, like I've got my Mario Badescu Lavender here, you give it a couple spritzes onto your sponge, and then you use that to dab over like the fine lines around your eye area because let's be honest, when refreshing your makeup, that's usually the area that needs the most attention. So me demoing it in this video on fresh makeup, like it's just for show. But by like 2/3 of the way through the day, you could really benefit from adding that little bit of moisture to that area with this very targeted sponge, and I feel like it brings it back to life. It takes away the cakiness, sort of just resets the makeup, if you know what I mean. And you might have other areas of your face where you would benefit from that too, maybe across the forehead or laugh lines. Maybe you're using this from more of an oil control perspective and you just want to use the sponge dry to dab over. But obviously you can wash and clean these sponges. I think it's a pretty cool thing. It's in a little vented compact here, so air can circulate and it will be able to dry out. But I think that's a pretty cool little thing, and it definitely doesn't get the love that a beauty blender sponge would, you know, as far as this brand goes. But especially when you use it in conjunction with a little bit of a mist, it works so well. And even if you're on the go, like I keep a little Evian mist in my bag because I feel like I'm not so concerned about that leaking out. Just one of the mini ones. And if I would just throw this in my bag with it, I would have that touch-up method with me all the time. So there you go, guys. Those are my underrated products from buzzed about brands. This is the stuff that I feel is falling through the cracks, and I'd love to know if you like it too, or if you're thinking about trying any of it, or what else do you know about that kind of falls into this category. Going forward, I also want to be doing a lot of videos just spotlighting overall underrated brands in general, you know, because I think there are entire brands that, at least in the YouTube space, don't get a lot of talk. Also, not to be annoying, but I do want to get a little bit better about this in the new year. If you're new to my channel, I hope you'll subscribe. I don't really verbally give that call to action a lot, but if you would do that and also click the bell notification, you will get updates whenever I post a new video, and that'll help you keep from missing them. And if you do also click the thumbs up button on any videos that are helpful to you, it really raises the visibility of my channel in the YouTube landscape and gets it more recommended to other viewers. So I would so appreciate that if you found this video helpful, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye!